Winners, let the pros show you how to make money. General Manager Al DeMarco, a regular contributor on Fox Sports, MSNBC, and Comcast Sports TV, brings over 25 years of handicapping experience to the table. CEO Steve Budin, the author of Bets, Drugs, and Rock and Roll, is the man responsible for creating the online betting industry. Together, they lead the world's largest online sports handicapping community, your #1 source for winners.
I've been a professional sports handicapper for 25 years, and guys, I'm telling you, week number 2 of the NFL season historically has always been the toughest one to make money. But history doesn't always repeat itself when it comes to gambling, as week 1 proved. Hi everyone, Al DeMarco here along with Steve Budin. This is the Countdown to Kickoff NFL Preview Show, the only nationally televised TV show to break down all of your NFL action every Sunday from a point spread perspective. And Steve, what I'm referring to is in week number 1, historically, you play the favorites because the odds makers don't know anything more than you or I when it comes to evaluating the teams, and thus you get soft lines. But that was not the case, because maybe last week's opener on Wednesday night when the Giants were a 3.5 to 4 point home favorite, the defending Super Bowl champions getting outplayed, out-hustled, and beaten at home by the Dallas Cowboys, that perhaps was a precursor of what to come. Favorites went 7-9 against the spread last week. The home favorites went 5-8. You had the Giants losing, the Saints losing, the Raiders losing outright as home chalk.
One of the things we did get right when we talked about all the NFL quarterbacks, the elite quarterbacks, how many elite quarterbacks are in the league this year compared to over the last 15 years? I don't remember seeing this many, and we saw that translate into the over because there were 9 games that went over the spread, and now it's going to be time for those odds makers to adjust.
You know, I do find it interesting, though, that last week the 2 heaviest chalks on the board both covered, double-digit favorites, both covered last week as the Bears and the Texans got there easily in Vegas. So it just goes to show you there are, once again, no guarantees in gambling. Guys, I've been a handicapper for over 25 years, started my career as a sports reporter, spent 8 years covering teams, players on the field, in the locker room, and the experiences I gained really go into my handicapping philosophy. Steve, on the other hand, different side of the fence. This is the guy who created what you now know as the offshore sportsbook industry. So as a former bookmaker and a guy that was overseas taking action, you have a different perspective on these games than I do.
Right, and look, I have an opinion, and you can hear my opinion on TV or the radio, but when it comes to betting my money, what I like to do is I like to exercise a little discipline. I put my opinion on the side, and I gain access to my sources, which nobody else has, like the Baltimore Crew, right out of the box last week with a 50-dime play, a huge monster play to start. They've won it now 5 years in a row, their opening play. We're going to have another one. We'll talk about it later. But for me, I always go with my crews.
And listen, that Baltimore Crew he's talking about, 40-19, documented 40-19 the last 5 years combined. I mean, that puts a lot of money in anybody's pocket. I don't care who you are. Steve, let's get to it. First game on the board, talking about those Giants looking to rebound. I think they have time on their side, an extra 4 days of prep time as they host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Only a 7.5-point favorite in this contest, and I find the line interesting here. If the Giants had won against Dallas and Tampa Bay had lost last week at home to Carolina,
they'd be laying 100.
Yeah, I mean, easily 12.5, 13 points. Even if you had a split there, if you had the Giants winning and Tampa Bay winning as they did, they'd still be laying 10 to 11. 7.5. That's a bargain basement price for the defending Super Bowl champs.
And I'll take it one step further. I think if the Giants had beat Dallas, there'd be a chance that they would overlook Tampa Bay, that they would come into this game and they would kind of like not be pumped up for it. However, going in front of their home crowd, second week in a row, there's no way they're losing this game. And if you're going to war, who would you rather go to war with, Josh Freeman or Eli Manning?
I mean, nice debut for Greg Schiano and the Buccaneers, but listen, you know, this Giants team only had 269 yards total offense against Dallas last week. I think that definitely is going to change this week against Tampa's defense. And the Giants defense shredded for 433 yards last week by the Cowboys, but Tampa doesn't have that type of offensive weaponry. Tampa has some nice things going, but listen, their defense gave up 303 yards to Cam Newton, so I think Eli Manning's going to be able to shred them too.
I agree.
So lay whatever points you want. It really doesn't matter. Hey, before we get to the next game, New England, Arizona, let's talk about fantasy football, draftstreet.com, and the free contest we run every single week where $300 of my money is up for grabs. You guys are playing for it against myself, against Steve. The top 15 finish in the money. And Steve, We talk about this. I mean, we're more than gamblers. We're football fanatics, just like you guys out here. In the old days, fantasy leagues, rotisserie leagues, you had to wait till the Super Bowl, the end of January, whatever, until your league was decided and the money was paid out. Not here, not with Draft Street and the free contest we do.
Well, that's why guys like me and you never got into it before. We always want that instant gratification that we're used to from gambling. Well, now you have it at Draft Street. Week in, week out, you're going to have an opportunity to win every single week. They got tons of contests, plus your free contest.
Right, guys, it's free to enter. $300 of my money on the line, free for you to enter. You're playing against us. You're playing among yourselves. Top 15 finishing the money. In fact, a guy with the screen name Rob S. Vikes. Gee, I wonder if he's a Vikings fan. He finished last week #1. Nice little draft for him. I mean, he overcame the drafting of Jake Locker with going with Matt Ryan. I mean, the reason this guy won it last week, and you pick a couple quarterbacks, couple running backs, few wide receivers, his receiving core, Julio Jones, Brandon Marshall, Nate Washington, Jimmy Graham. Duh. I mean, that's why he finished first. I finished 8th. He finished 99th, guys, but not that I want to rub that in.
So if you bet the under 100, you won.
Yes, but his son, who is how old?
9.
Finished
50th.
like 50th. So there you go. But guys, free contest, draftstreet.com. Click on the ads here on the site. You enter. It's the Al DeMarco free roll. It's that easy. $300 of my money up for grabs, and it's a free contest, and we'll be talking about it next week here, and hopefully one of us will do better than 8th and 99th. 99. Okay, let's move on here to the New England-Arizona game. I think the Patriots are going to win this game. They're a 2-touchdown favorite. I have no qualms with laying the points because Arizona showed me nothing. You beat Seattle. Okay. And it doesn't matter to me who Arizona plays at quarterback. This is a team that's only covered 6 of its last 17 on the road. And Tennessee, I thought was going to be a decent team. But I'll tell you what, New England went into Nashville last week and hammered them 34-13. And Brady didn't have a sensational game, but they got a great ground performance from this guy, Ridley, 125 yards rushing.
Yeah, and I told you not to pay too much attention to the problems that the Patriots are having in the preseason. Come time for the regular season, Belichick and Brady are going to be ready. Now, I didn't know Ridley was going to come with 125 yards. I didn't know Brandon Lloyd was going to make 5 catches. Now, all of a sudden, New England's got a ton of weapons. They're going to be too hot to handle.
And you know, New England's main goal this offseason, Bill Belichick wanted to revamp and rebuild that defense. And they had a very strong outing, holding Tennessee on the road to 284 total yards. And
don't break.
Exactly. And that's really going to be the key to the Patriots getting back to the Super Bowl this year. We know they can score points. Can they stop somebody? Can they get their opponent off the field? At least for one week they did, and I think this week as well. Listen, guys, next game on the docket we're going to be talking about is going to be New Orleans, Carolina. 2 teams coming off stunning losses in week #1. Which one's going to rebound? And we're going to cover that and all the rest of your games coming up after this short commercial break.